When the kidnappers succeed again, will no longer go the effort of being alive. Point is, the kidnappers were actually concerned with who they were not going to get help. They would have guessed they didn't even know the idea that the only one likely to hear us was the one who don't know. Going for the door is a very obvious idea that is almost guaranteed not to work. The kidnappers is the kidnappers make money first. Is why he also says that there is the temperature is rising fast, claiming that it is so hot. Brian realizes that Bruce is in a room identical to his and confirms it by asking if there is also a small window. This causes Bruce to panic even more now, claiming that they are going to die. Brian tries banging on the wall,
Any nonsense from you, and you'll join them.
You hear a sizzling
I've got
sound
a space weapon.
He then starts
From
screaming and
Russia.
saying that he is dirty.
A Russian hacker space weapon.
Brian tries to call
And I'm
back,
going to
but
liquidize you.
he screams,
Just like
"Let
I
me out
did
of
to
here."
your
He goes then over
friends.
work with kidnapped.
Yes.
A high-pitched sound plays over the speaker, causing enough pain as Brian holds his hands over his ears. A raspy and distorted voice asks if it
He's
has
trying to kill
Mr.
me.
Beans on the
Oh, God,
back.
no.
Brian can't ask anything and will be given one
You're my new
shot at answering the
partner.
question.
You bought into the
He then
place.
starts
You're
listing
late.
out
What kept
the
you?
rules.
Yeah, well, it's too
Guess
late.
the answer, and I
The
will let you
bastard
walk
trick.
free on that.
My best friend,
2
who was
minutes,
supposed to protect
and many
me
guesses as you
forever,
want.
then he goes all
Just
Vinewood
guess
on me.
who I am.
He's too important
Say
for
my name
Ron
and all
now.
of this
He's a
will end
guru.
right now.
He's a
So we
lifestyle
have 2
coach.
minutes to
I
just
don't
say
know what
one
he
name
is.
and
I
have
bet he's got
infinite
abs.
guesses. So, what does that mean? Well,
I'm
start
so
guessing every single
alone.
name
I just
we know.
shot 2 government agents in
Think
the head.
especially of
I mean,
those
I
that
hope
feel
they're
wrong
government
or would
agents.
have a grudge
I'm
against
screwed. We're screwed. Where's that
correct?
mechanic?
And with the amount of effort he would have
Oh,
taken
I mean,
to
that's the
define
only reason
Bruce
I let them in.
before he was killed,
Because I thought it was going to be him. Who's that?
Instead of guessing right away, however,
Hey, boss. Hey, boss. Oh, hey, boss. Is that what I get? Well, you're getting a sandwich. I'm getting killed. These 2 people came to kill me. Not him. He's your new boss. Well, a co-boss with me. This is Charlie. He was in the Air Force. He was accused of a crime he didn't commit. Innocent mistake. Planes crashed. He was the fall guy. You know how the deep state is. Charlie, get to work. Ignore the corpses. So, anyway, business is good and business is bad. Now that's a problem. On one hand, we've got more orders than we can possibly handle. And on the other, I'll be surprised if we're not killed in the next 48 hours. Come on, let me give you a tour. Then I can deal with this mess while you get to work. It's really pretty obvious. Okay, now, this we lose this, we're all dead men. This is where the jobs come through. Yeah? So you can check it out? Okay? Okay, let's move on. Now back here is where we store cargo. Now nothing too dodgy. Mostly untaxed cigarettes, stolen pharmaceuticals, and industrial chemicals. But we'll run pretty much easily. Now back there is where you can store any aircraft that you haven't left out here on the main floor. Got plenty of room. I think we can probably take all the planes we need, but then I've never had one. Now over there is where we can put an aircraft workshop if we want. I mean, it's your call, of course. I mean, Charlie obviously would be grateful for the work. Right, Charlie?
by saying it is a $500.
No. Hey, he's a
By
brilliant
commenting on
engineer.
someone's
He's an
expensive
avionic
taste is a
mastermind.
very clear
Just
indicator that this
strangely
kidnapper is someone
underemployed.
who has
We
been
get along
wrong
great.
financially.
Give me a hand
Ryan
with
should
these
start
bodies.
thinking of anyone and everyone he has screwed
Oh, I
over
better
when
dump
it comes
these at
to money.
sea.
The voice isn't amused by Ryan's
Ah!
correction and says to see if
Oh!
he's
Then
still
I got a little
joking when his
radio
flesh
thing,
cooks
but I'll be in
and lungs
touch.
are seared. This scares Ryan into taking
I
the
am
kidnapper
so glad
seriously and
you're
asking
here.
what they want.
You're the best
The
friend
voice
I've
says he
had,
wants
and I
$1
mean
billion
that.
of your money.
Don't let me
Either this
down!
was spoken in broken English, or it was phrased this way for a particular reason. Ryan says he doesn't have access to that kind of cash, but the voice just told him a new set of rules. You have 2 hours, the room starts at 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and every 5 minutes that goes by without the kidnapper being a millionaire will cause the temperature to rise 3 degrees. Time for some math. At 5 minutes equals 3 degrees, then at 15 minutes the room will be 109 degrees Fahrenheit. 30 minutes, 118 degrees, 1 hour, 136 degrees, and after 2 hours, 172 degrees. Not quite at the 200 degrees promised in the movie title, but we are getting close. At 118 degrees, my friends, human skin can sustain first-degree burns. A second-degree burn can occur at 131 degrees, and human skin is destroyed at 162. According to our math and data, we only have 30 minutes before we can't touch anything in the room, and 1 hour and 45 minutes before touching stuff will permanently damage us. As for survival, that varies drastically from person to person and the environment. But overall, the more humid the air, the harder it is for the body to regulate temperature through sweat, and the easier it is to overheat. So dry heat really is the best way for us to survive. Ryan tries to plead with the kidnapper, but even if he had months and sold everything...
Here we go, the maiden voyage of this new enterprise. Here's to new friends being better than old ones, old dogs learning new tricks, and this all being a computer simulation anyway. So who cares if we go to prison? The AI has already won. Our first target's a lost-in-the-sea cargo shipment. Take out the guards and bring the plane to the hangar. Once there's some stock in the system, the app will go online.
This must be the kidnapper. She eventually, miraculously, sends the money. Rule number 1. When asking for help, don't be a douche. Others are less likely to help you or will take more time to do it. Both cases can lead to us thinking over. Try to explain the situation in ways or in others. There is no drawback in telling others except making them worry. But if they worry, they care. And if they care, they probably wouldn't want us to die. So, let's just help. When we get a time lapse of calling others, we typically ask adjust the temperature at least a little bit to compensate for the
Maximum security jails are somehow more pleasant in computer simulations than they would be if this was all actually real life.
It's a long shot, depending on how much water we can actually get to the land. But if it could instantly put an end to the current threats, it is worth a try. If it doesn't work, we could at least wring them out into our mouth. This is a bit gross, I know, but drinking the water will rehydrate us and leaves less water in the air. Right now asks where Anna is, and the kidnappers simply say she is safe. He doesn't ask about his son, though, which is strange.
Welcome, business partner. This is Ron Jakowski. Damn. I shouldn't say my name. Note to self. Edit that bit out. I prepared this recording to talk you through the basics of our new operation. You'll find all the information you need about stock levels and our holdings on the homepage here. Then, when you're ready to make an acquisition, you hit the source button.
And tells them a bunch of lies about products, information, convincing them to donate hundreds of thousands of dollars. They seem like the Wolf of Wall Street. Ryan is trying to save his own life, but he could possibly be ruining others, like the one client saying that he is giving all of his money that he has. Just because they are rich doesn't mean they are terrible or deserve to lose everything. However, I don't blame Ryan. We need to do what it takes to survive, and our lives are worth it. The other option, though, is to ask these clients for their help. They may be willing to just give us the money if it's to save us during what is essentially a hostage negotiation. Eventually, Ryan starts to almost faint. Either the phone malfunctions or he is too oblivious to read it correctly. He passes out and fantasizes about breaking the lens with the folding chair. Not sure why he only attempts this in his dreams and not in his real life? Question mark. Ryan wakes up and continues to lay on the floor, directly under the lights. He should at least move to be out of the direct heat, no? John now calls back to say that they got a hold of the cell phone company and they have narrowed Ryan's location down to a 15-mile radius. Not sure why they couldn't do that before, but okay. Ryan gets a call back from one of his clients to turn him down. They have changed their mind and want to give him the money. This last payment puts him at $1,054,000 and some $100. If the temperature was still increasing at this point, the room would be at least 169 degrees Fahrenheit, well above the 1 hour limit for surviving in 140 plus, according to this chart. Ryan asks for the heat to be turned off now, but the kidnapper says the rules were $1 million of your money, and that they only wanted $1 million and were going to let him keep the rest. This rightfully pisses Ryan off, and he wants an explanation. The voice reveals that it knows that Ryan has $4 million set. Besides, are you kidding me? He has that much money, yet he was willing to die instead of giving up some of it. It's like 25%. He also took from family and friends, putting several of them in desperate states. If that is true, I can see why he was kidnapped. Ryan begs for another chance, and the voice agrees, but the rules changed. Ryan now has only the remaining time left, which is less than 5 minutes, and must transfer all $4 million to the kidnappers. The kidnappers then send Ryan's account information proving its existence, and say they even have the password. Ryan wants to know why they're doing all of this then, to which the voice responds that it wanted to give him a chance at redemption. Now, the best solution now would be to just give them the money they want. They clearly know way more than we realize and want to see us part with our money willingly. So we should give them what they want to avoid further harm. It's just money. It's a lot of money, I know, but it's still just money. No amount is worth our life. And our bank could even potentially get it back for us later if we report this. The heat lamps start lowering, increasing the temperature in the room. Makes sense? Which causes Ryan to shrink to the floor. He calls the bank and transfers the money with a Delta transaction. The heaters turn on and the door's valve handle starts to turn. Someone enters the room and leaves. Ryan apparently passed out and starts dreaming about his family. Now some time passes and the cooling fans kick off, reviving Ryan. This would be the perfect opportunity to stick our shoes or clothes into the gaps to keep the vents open. But the kidnappers slide a piece of paper into the room through the mail slot. It's a list of names that Brian recognizes as his family members, but the voice tells him to read them out loud anyway. It's Anna, his wife, Larry, his son, Valerie and Greg, his mother and father, and then he hesitates and gets angry about the next name on the list. It's Leslie, presumably his mistress. The final name on the list is John, his brother. The phone then rings and it's Anna, who says the kidnappers are letting her talk, and she asks what's going on. Brian says that he will explain later. Now is a pretty good time as ever to explain things, my friends. Take 5 seconds to say, kidnapper is extorting me for money. It's pretty simple. Brian asks Anna where she is, and she describes the same type of kill in the room, meaning she is likely to be cooked alive if Ryan doesn't play along. The voice then says to Ryan that if he tells the truth, both he and Anna can walk away. At this point, just absolutely tell the truth to her and the kidnappers. They clearly have too much information in our life for us to get away with any sort of lie, and they now have Anna's life hostage too. Anything we say to her can always be refuted later as, being under stress or whatever. First question that is being asked is, what is your name? Answer, Ryan Hintz. The kidnapper then asks if this is your only name. Ryan says, yes. Because he obviously learned nothing about how serious this killer is and how much information they have. The heaters come back on, and he quickly changes his tone, claiming to have 4 or 5 other names. But the voice claims that even that is another lie. Now, Anna starts complaining about it getting hot, which, fair enough, indicating that her room is rising in temperature too. The kidnapper presses the question again, and Ryan responds with dozens. It instructs him to look around the room for a little gift they had left. Apparently, there was a small box in the corner after he woke up, that he somehow did not notice. Ryan opens the box and finds a finger with a wedding ring still attached. Leslie's voice can be heard through the speaker now too, and she calls his name and asks what is going on and why it is so hot. The kidnapper then asks what is the truth. Ryan confesses that Anna is his wife. Leslie is suddenly confused as to why Ryan has another wife. Apparently, he has married both women. What the f***? Ryan explains they're both his wife, but he just wanted Leslie for her money and didn't care about her at all. Well done. Now he apologizes and then also apologizes to Anna, stating that he'll leave from the cell phone company and will be there in 15 minutes. The voice then instructs Ryan to pull the gun out from the box. Wait, there was a gun in there as well? I know the finger grabs your attention, but why wouldn't you notice a gun? Now the final test begins. The kidnapper says Ryan can shoot himself and his 2 wives will go free, or the other option is to let Leslie and Anna die while he goes. The choice is his. Now before picking an option, there are some things we can try. Check the gun to see if it's even loaded. This might just be a test to see if we actually would pull the trigger. And if it is loaded, then it would be good to know how many shots we have. Shoot yourself in the arm or foot is another idea. You, in quote, shot yourself, like the voice asked you to, so the girls go free and you get to live. Now the kidnappers probably wouldn't let this slide, but who knows? Shoot the heat lamp. If you can break the bulbs, you may be able to stop the heat and live longer. Or we'll still be trapped, and Anna's room is still heating, but we are alive for a second chance for escaping. Ryan chooses to shoot himself. However, the gun was empty. That is why he should have checked first. Now the door opens and Ryan slowly gets to it and leaves. He comes out into a small workspace and looks around. John shows up brandishing a gun, but is in civilian clothes. He is alone. Shouldn't he be in uniform and surrounded by a police squad? But instead of giving any possible excuse,